When Miss Avelina Kai stepped into room 2B of Crescent Heights High, she had no idea that by noon her shirt would be torn open in front of 30 laughing students, her past would catch up to her, in a way she never expected, and 3 bullies would be lying stunned on the cold tile floor. The chalk hadn't even touched the board before the lesson turned into a storm of humiliation and justice, where kindness was mistaken for weakness, and monsters learned they weren't as invincible as they thought. Before we dive deeper into this powerful real-life story, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the strength it takes to stand up when it's hardest, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, Kindness Journal, and share it with someone who might need to hear it today. Leave a comment below if you've ever had to find courage when no one believed you had any left. Avelina Kai was 29 years old, a soft-spoken woman with wide almond eyes and a calm, musical voice. On paper she was perfect. 2 master's degrees, top recommendations, a volunteer record as long as a scroll. But behind the bright smile she carried into her first teaching job was a weight she rarely spoke of. Avelina had grown up in the foster system, bounced between homes, often silenced, often hurt. She had learned early that people don't always fight fair, and some people only respect power when it's forced into their hands. It was her first day as a substitute teacher, filling in for a maternity leave. Room 2B was notorious. The staff whispered warnings in the hall. Good luck. Don't let them smell fear. Watch out for Cadden, Milo, and Brixton. She nodded politely, but her heart beat with nerves. Avelina believed in connection. She believed troubled kids needed compassion more than correction. But the trio had other plans. Caden was the unofficial ringleader. Tall, with a buzz cut and a scar above his left eye. The kind of kid who walked like the hallways owed him something. Milo, lanky and wired with energy, always followed 2 steps behind, while Brixton, the quietest and most dangerous of the 3, rarely spoke but always smirked when something went wrong. From the moment Avelina stepped into the room, the tension was sharp enough to cut. Whispers. Snickers. A crumpled note that read, "Nice skirt, Miss Try." Hard. She ignored it. She smiled. She began the lesson on World War II. That's when Cadden started mimicking her voice, drawing laughter. She asked for quiet. He laughed louder. When she turned to write on the board, a paper airplane grazed her cheek. Another followed. She stopped. Faced the class. She didn't yell. "Respect isn't something I expect from you," she said quietly. "It's something I hope we can give each other." That should have been the end of it. But to boys like Caden, quiet strength was a red flag in front of a bull. He stood. So did Milo and Brixton. There was something in the air, something electric and wrong. "You're not gonna last a week, lady," Caden sneered. "You don't belong here." Avelina took a step forward, and in that moment, something shifted. Milo lunged first, yanking the collar of her blouse, in what looked like a prank gone too far. But the fabric tore with a sickening rip. Gasps filled the room. Her shoulder was exposed. She clutched her shirt in shock, then Cadden stepped closer, smirking. Oops. But what none of them knew, what no one knew, was that Avelina Kai had spent 7 years training in Judo to reclaim her body and spirit after surviving assault at 16. She didn't train for sport. She trained to remember that she was not a victim. Not anymore. In the split second that followed, time slowed. Caden reached out again, smug and sure of himself. But before he could touch her, her hand snapped around his wrist, twisted, and with a precise pivot of her hip, she threw him clean over her shoulder. He landed hard with a thud that silenced the room. Milo ran forward, but Avelina sidestepped, swept his legs from under him, and he hit the floor, groaning. Brixton froze, but too late. She turned, grabbed his arm with a perfect arm drag motion, and gently but firmly pinned him to the ground with a control hold used only in defense. The class stared, silent, shaken. Avelina stood tall, her breath even, her torn shirt fluttered slightly, but she did not flinch. "This," she said softly, "is not strength. This is survival." The principal was called. An investigation ensued. The school camera had captured everything: Milo lunging, Caden grabbing, Brixton smirking. But what the footage didn't capture was the moment afterward, when Avelina sat in the empty classroom, hands trembling, her composure finally cracking as the adrenaline drained away. She cried not because she was hurt, but because she had fought back and didn't feel guilty about it. Parents were furious. At first, how dare a teacher put her hands on a student? But when the footage went viral, public opinion shifted overnight. People saw what really happened. The aggression. The intent. The control with which Avelina responded. Not one student was injured seriously. She had de-escalated what could have become something far worse. The school board apologized. Caden, Milo, and Brixton were suspended indefinitely and mandated to counseling. But something unexpected happened a week later. Caden's mother, a nurse named Rhiannon, showed up in tears. "I didn't know," she said. "I didn't know my son was capable of that. I've been working double shifts. Their dad left last year. He's angry. I'm angry. But you didn't retaliate. You protected him, even while he tried to hurt you." Avelina listened. She didn't say much, just nodded. She understood pain. She had been that angry once. 2 months passed. Then one afternoon, Caden showed up at her door. Clean shirt, quiet eyes, no swagger. "I'm sorry," he said. "I've never said that to anyone before." Avelina looked at him, searching for signs of mockery. There were none. "I believe you," she said. "But it doesn't erase what happened." "I know," he said. "But I joined the after-school martial arts club. The coach said you helped fund it. I wanted to learn how to be strong like that. Like you." She smiled. Not wide, but enough. The classroom changed that year. Kids sat a little straighter. The laughing died down. Not because they were afraid, but because they had seen something they didn't know existed before. A teacher who didn't break, didn't punish out of rage, didn't turn her back on them. She had protected herself, yes, but she had also protected them, even when they didn't deserve it. And slowly, kindness began to replace cruelty. Milo started bringing his guitar to school, and played softly during lunch. Brixton drew a comic series about a misunderstood hero in a hoodie. Caden became a quiet protector of the new kids, standing up when others were bullied. The lesson Avelina taught that day was never in the textbooks. It was written in sweat, fear, dignity, and the refusal to be defined by the worst day of your life. If this story touched your heart, if you believe in redemption, in the strength that comes from gentleness, and in standing up for yourself with grace, please like this video, leave a comment about someone who inspired you, and subscribe to Kindness Journal to help us share more stories that matter. Share this with someone who might need courage today.